Hello and welcome to our second edition of the Term 2 newsletter. Can I begin by thanking Mrs. Linda Carroll for the brilliant job she did serving as acting principal during my 5 weeks of long service leave. From the conversations I've had with students, staff and you, the parents, Linda did an incredible job, particularly managing the school through a difficult period where we lost young Zane Ballista, V2, and that was very sad for the whole community. And I thank the community for your prayers and concerns around that incident. Now, one of the things I've reflected on during my leave was how we communicate with you, our most important stakeholders, the parents. And I've had lots of time to reflect and to consider how we can improve the communication, particularly in these forums, like the e-newsletter, where we get to communicate with you directly. So our intention in doing this is to communicate more the academic nature of the school and how we can provide a more holistic education for all the students at the school. So today I'm going to talk about our school improvement plans. We call it the SIPs, School Improvement Plans. And the school improvement plans have 4 goals attached to it. 2 are learning goals, which are part English and part maths. There's a well-being goal, and then there's, most importantly, a formation goal. And today I've invited a panel of experts to help me unpack those goals with you. So, Rachel Vecchio, welcome.
Thank you for having me. It's good to be here.
Thank you. And Rachel, as you well know, is acting leader of Learning and Mission during Chris Heyman's paternity leave. I've also got with me Miss Anushka Hausman. Anushka, welcome.
Thanks, Mark. It's great to be here.
And as you all know, I'm sure you all well know Anushka and the great work she does as leader of Wellbeing K-12. And now we're going to take a closer look to determine how we're going to achieve these goals. And I'm going to start with you first, Rachel. Mm-hmm. So our formation goal is to enhance the Catholic identity through the Santa Sophia formation framework elements, but we include the implementation of parent formation.
Yes.
How are we going with that goal?
Yeah, fantastic. So you mentioned our Santa Sophia formation framework. So that encompasses lots of different areas, from religious education to social justice, student leadership, formation for staff and for parents, and particularly I wanted to talk about what's happening in terms of parent formation and student formation. So we have 2 FIAT coordinators, Faith in Action team coordinators. We have Charmaine Coble and Chris Hersey, who have implemented lots of initiatives to try and actively engage our students in the faith life of our school, from lunchtime adoration to a stage 3 youth club. There are lots of opportunities for students to be actively engaged, which has been really well received by our students. In terms of parents, we've been getting external stakeholders to come in to speak to them. So Dr. Andy Mullins has come out. He runs a parent formation program called Parenting with Character. He firstly came to speak to staff, which was wonderful, and then has scheduled in 1 termly session with parents for the rest of the year. So we've had 2. Our 3rd one is coming up next term. So parenting for teens and parenting for primary were the focus for this part of the year.
Well done. Sounds like we're on track to enhance the Catholic identity of our school. Well done. And now I want to talk to Anushka Hausman about our wellbeing goal. And our wellbeing goal is to reduce negative student behaviours or behavioural incidences across the college by 10%.
Yeah.
Can we do it?
I believe we can, Mark. And we're working really hard on how we're going to do that. We've focus, we've looked at our data and we can see that for K to 4, it's a different kind of behaviour that we're going to target, and that's the more physical, hands-on type behaviour. And then for years 5 to 12, we're looking at non-compliance and improving the incidence of positive behaviour. So we're doing that by working with our teachers to try and provide them with more professional development around how to be more, use effective strategies, but also really try to enhance the consistency across the school in terms of managing these incidents. But we're also working directly with our students through explicit instruction, setting up routines and procedures, and also setting up some really lovely rewards within each grade to reinforce positive behaviours as well.
And now to our numeracy goal. And with me this morning, I have our numeracy team. Welcome, Rebecca Jones.
Thank you for having me, Mark.
Welcome, Amanda Kessel.
Good morning.
And welcome, Mr. Matsi.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So, as you know, our numeracy goal is by the end of 2024, we'll have at least 75% of our students demonstrate relative growth and improvement in their mathematical performances. Rebecca, how are we going to get that going?
Well, across the 3 schools, we have staff members that are participating in ongoing professional learning with staff members from CSPD, and we have been working with them. This is our 2nd year, so that's been ongoing, and we use that data to inform decisions that we make. And from that, we provide planning opportunities for the teachers, and we look at misconceptions that have come from our data, and we encourage the teachers to think like the students. So why are those misconceptions occurring? And we do that through things called Think Alouds, where we model to the students by having a question on the screen, and we unpack that and think what is happening there and look at all the different steps so we can make sure that we're setting the students up to be successful. So this is the approach that we're looking at in K to 4, but I know it's been built in throughout the school, and Amanda can talk about it in stage 3.
Fantastic, thank you. So in stage 3, we build on those think alouds by having really targeted masterclasses in our learning that look to bridge any gaps of identified misconceptions or just things that students are finding particularly challenging or difficult with any of the new topics and tasks that we introduce them to. From year 3 onwards, we also start looking at their NAPLAN data, and NAPLAN gives us some really good information around how students can approach maths when it's presented to them in really different ways. So we start looking at making sure that we're exposing the students to mathematical language in lots of different contexts to make sure that they're able to transfer their knowledge. And Matt Singh can talk about how we build on this in 7 to 12.
Based on the hard work done by my colleagues in primary, we have been focusing on explicit teaching instructions in the secondary school, and we have been seeing successes on that part. More students have been opting for advanced level mathematics courses and extension level mathematics courses. And just to put that in number sense, last year in advanced mathematics, we had 83% students achieving the highest band 6 in HSC and 17% achieving band 5 in HSC. There was no student who scored anything less than band 5. So 100% results were among the top bands. And we were ranked number 1 in all the schools in the CSPD. It's very hard to improve on those results, but still we are trying, and hopefully our results will be better next time.
And with me to unpack our literacy goal, I have the pleasure of working with Miss Angela Keehee. Angela, welcome.
Thanks, Mark. It's great to be here.
And also Miss Carly Blundell. Carly, you're most welcome.
Good morning, Mark. Good to be here as well.
Our literacy goal, as you well know from the letter I wrote to you, is very similar to the maths goal insofar as by the end of 2024, we are aiming for at least 75% of our students across K to 12 to demonstrate relative growth in the quality and improvement of their writing. Ange, how are we going to do that?
Well, it's a huge goal, Mark, starting with our youngest students in kindergarten all the way to our oldest students in Year 12. But the way that we're planning on doing it is to really build capacity with our teachers and our leaders in being good literacy teachers. And what that looks like, Kylie will speak a bit more about. But the first part of our journey in achieving this SIP goal was to build a shared understanding across the college, across all 3 of the schools, about how we would go about our goal and sharing in the language around our goal. And so what it looks like, I'll hand over to Kylie to speak more about what that work has been looking like for our teachers and students.
Thanks, Ange. So in working towards our SIP goal, we've been working closely with our instructional coaches in getting them to reach out to all of our teachers and get some baseline data from our students. So we aim to have all of our students writing in all classes, in all subjects. So our instructional coaches have been working with our teachers in order to get students writing within the classroom in all different contexts and purposes, and actually collecting that data and seeing where they're actually at. So we want to see where the students are at and where they're performing, so we know best to improve their writing.
So one of the things that we're working with the coaches and classroom teachers with is building our skills around teaching literacy using some strategies that we feel are high yield literacy strategies, and that's so that we can really work to explicitly teach writing so that we can achieve better quality writing in our students. And that's a lot of the work that we're currently doing, is building the capacity of our teachers so that we can teach literacy across all year groups and across all KLAs.
Hi, I'm Natasha Swan and I'm a drama teacher here at Santa Sophia Catholic College. I'm delighted to introduce to you today a couple of staff members and cast from our school musical Legally Blonde Junior. This is our very first musical, so we're really excited to share a little bit of information about the show. Beside me, I have Bethany Taylor, who is directing the show. And on the couch, we have 2 students who are double cast as the lead character, Elle Woods, and that's Chelsea Hughes and Dakota Irvine. Next to the girls is a very important character, Emmett, who is played by Beau also. So Miss Taylor's going to tell you a little bit more about Legally Blonde Junior.
So I am an English and specialty capital teacher here at Santa Sophia, but a little bit of an insight about my history is that I have a lot of experience in the field of musical theatre, both performing and directing, so backstage as well. And I've actually been in Legally Blonde myself, so I know the show quite well, and I'm bringing that, my theatre background and my understanding of the show into this directing experience and giving that to the kids, which is very exciting. A bit of an insight into the show itself. Legally Blonde follows Elle Woods. She is a very determined individual going to Harvard Law School in order to attempt to win back her ex-boyfriend. However, along the way, through trials and tribulations and with the help of her friends, she comes to realize that she doesn't actually need to change anything about herself or get her boyfriend back in order to achieve great things. And it's just a very vibrant, fun, funny show, as well as being very heartfelt at times. All about, being true to oneself and not judging a book by its cover.
Amazing. Well, let's ask our cast a couple of questions about the musical. Firstly, Dakota, what does it take to perform a lead role in a musical?
Well, as the lead role, it's like the main role in the whole show. So you have to be very committed towards being the lead. You have to not always, but just try your best to come to rehearsals because they're very important. They teach you a lot of things, how you need to act, how you need to sing, how you need to dance. It's just very helpful. You also need to practice and rehearse your lines, as lines are really important and they just give a lot more story to the whole thing. Mm-hmm. And you also need to practice your singing, as this is a musical. You have to just stay at it because in the end it'll all be worth it, because Legally Blonde is a great movie and it's a great musical, so Yeah.
Beautiful. Thanks, Dakota. And so, Beau, as someone who's actually done theatre before, which is unique compared to some of the people in our show, what would you say is the most fun part about being in a musical, and what are you looking forward to with doing Legally Blonde?
I'm excited about the rehearsals and meeting new people, and also this is way different to the other musicals I've done. Because most of the musicals I've done are, yes, they are funny, but none of them have really been like based on real life a little bit. So it's a bit more interesting, I guess.
Yeah, because seeing as Legally Blonde is kind of like heartfelt and like serious, and it's not like, it's like a little bit of comedy, but it's more like real life situations and like inspirational and like heartwarming.
Yeah.
And would you say there are any social aspects about a musical that you're looking forward to engaging with?
Oh yeah, totally. Like, I really want to meet new people and start experiencing their talents as well, which will help like me understand the other cast members and connect with them on stage, which helps.
And honestly, when you start just rehearsing all together, it kind of makes you feel like you're just one big family and you're all just like having fun together. It's just really fun to just be with all your friends.
One of the best experiences.
So Chelsea, you're only in year 7 and you haven't done a musical before. What have you learnt in rehearsals so far?
Well, it's very different for me. So what I've experienced so far that I've done in rehearsals is helping me make myself better at like singing, acting and dancing. Miss Taylor and Miss Swan have really helped me like improvise and like get on your toes when you're like thinking of your like acting and you're like you forget moves or like you forget your lines. They're really helping just to like remember and like get better, because I haven't done a musical before and it really caught my eye when the rehearsals were out, and I thought, wow, this would be a interesting thing to do. And I also thought that like when I'm doing the musical, it'll just be like really fun to be on stage and learn new things from rehearsals, and I've learnt so many things from the cast members at rehearsal, and I've made some pretty good friends already, and it's only been like, what, 3 weeks?
Oh, that's great to hear.
Yeah, no,
Excellent.
That's beautiful. So our community might have realised that we have 2 L's here. Dakota, would you like to explain to us why we have 2 L's cast for our production and what that entails for you during rehearsals?
So double casting is pretty simple. As L is a really crucial role, it's always like better safe than sorry to have 2 L's, because you never know what's gonna happen in like something could come up, and it's just safe to have 2 L's because she's super important, and I don't know how Legally Blonde would be Legally Blonde without her. Basically how it works in rehearsals is like we rehearse at the same time, we do all the same things, but when it comes to performing our scenes, we go one at a time. So for example, she'd go first and then we rerun the scene, I'd go next. And that also happens with performances. We are doing 4 performances, so for 2 of them I will be performing and she'll be performing the other 2 shows.
Yeah, I think it's really good to have 2 L's actually. It's really fun. Me and Dakota have kind of like connected really well, and it's really good because I get to like change what I'm doing to be better, because I'm only in year 7. I've never done a musical, and I think it's good for me because Dakota's really good, and it'd be good for me to feed off her energy really. And it's kind of like, it's really cool having 2 characters that play the same role, because Dakota's really helping me, and I think we can really help each other to be like better at our lines and dancing and singing.
Fantastic. Yeah, it's definitely a demanding role, isn't it?
Absolutely, and it's just lovely that we're creating that community by seeing that bond slowly developing between the both of you as well.
Wonderful. So lastly, I'll ask all of you guys, why do you think our Santa Sophia community should come and see Legally Blonde Junior in November?
They really should. I think it's going to be epic. It's going to be great. I think it's going to be really exciting, and I really want everyone to come because it's like going to blow you off the edge of your seats, I guess. It's different to the actual musical, how it's like comedy, it's like heartfelt, it's serious, it's heartwarming. It's like, I think it'll really be fun. So I hope to see all of you guys there.
Yeah, I think you guys should see it because it's appropriate for all ages. Everyone can enjoy it equally because Legally Blonde's just like really good for like everyone. Everyone can enjoy it. It's just overall really fun.
You should come because I agree with what both girls have said because it's vibrant with colour. It's just an incredible musical, and I can't wait to see all of you there, but I also can't wait to see how it turns out. So I hope you guys will be there. So
Wonderful. Well, we hope that you'll support our production and come and see us in November. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye. Hi, I'm Rachel Vecchio and I'm currently acting leader of formation and mission here at Santa Sophia, filling in for Chris Heyman. And I'm here with Chris Hersey, who is our Faith in Action team coordinator here at Santa Sophia. How are you?
Good, yourself?
Good, thank you. Thank you for being here.
My pleasure.
Now, we have an opportunity here at Santa Sophia where we have a relic of Blessed Carlo Acutis coming for us to venerate. Can you tell us a little bit about who Blessed Carlo is?
Blessed Carlo was 15-year-old when he died, Italian boy, brought up to wealthy parents. He loved sport, loved soccer, not that he was very good at it. He loved hanging out with his friends, and he also loved his PlayStation. So just like any other 15-year-old child. But most importantly, he had a strong love of God, especially in the Blessed Sacrament.
Awesome. Well, you've given us a little bit of insight, but why else was he special?
His parents didn't really practice the faith. But he, from a very early age, had this connection and love with God. So when he was 4, he'd be walking past a church and he'd pester his mum, let's go in, let's go in, let's go in. And that's continued. So I think from the age of 7, he went to daily mass. He went to mass every day. And that sort of like affected everything that he did in his life. Like he could have been a top grade student in class, but he chose rather to help those kids that were struggling in his class. Or he'd pick out the students that were, on the fringes, on their own, looking sad like that, and he'd go, hey, come play with me.
Wow.
So he had this sort of like outwards focus, and I think that made him very special. I think it's probably one of the reasons why he's about to become a saint.
Yeah, absolutely, and definitely something to aspire to as well, isn't it? So you mentioned that he's about to become a saint. So what does that mean? Like, what does it mean to be canonized? What is that process?
To be canonized as a saint is to be entered into a canon or a list of people that we know that are saints in heaven. Now, they're not the only people in heaven. There's millions of people in heaven that we don't know about, but he's going to become a saint. And the way you become a saint is that obviously you need to have lived some sort of special life, and he did that, but also there needs to be some sort of proof that he's actually in heaven, and then that comes through a miracle.
Okay.
Some sort of scientifically verifiable miracle that science can't explain.
Yeah.
And there was one, actually I don't know what the actual miracles were, but there was actually one that then made him blessed. So that's on the step to becoming a saint. And then just recently, a second miracle has been verified, which therefore means now that he will become a saint.
Awesome.
And so that process will happen over the next couple of months.
Wow. And so we've got this relic coming of Blessed Carlo. So what exactly is a relic?
A relic is something associated with that saint.
Yeah.
So it's a way we can actually connect to them. Like a lot of people would love to have a Lionel Messi jersey, to have that association with Lionel Messi.
Yeah.
It's a bit similar to that, where we can have this association with someone who's lived a very special life, someone who's been an example that we would like to emulate as well.
Yeah.
So the relic that's coming here is actually a part of him.
Wow.
And normally it's in a gold or silver, what we call a reliquary, which is special because we treat it with a lot of respect. So it goes into this gold or silver reliquary, which we can then venerate.
Wow. Now, You mentioned that word venerate. So what can we expect when we're visiting a relic, and how do we actually venerate a relic?
Okay, so when we visit, when that's Blessed Carlo's coming here to the school, there'll be an exhibition that he put together.
Wow.
On Eucharistic miracles around the world, and then there'll actually be the relic probably on the altar. And the way we can venerate it is that take advantage of him being there close to us and actually pray to him to help us out and to help try and emulate his life. Sometimes you're actually allowed to go up and touch the relic very reverently, or sometimes even kiss the relic as well.
Well, thank you so much, Chris, for talking to us about Blessed Carlo and the opportunity to have this relic at Santa Sophia.
My pleasure. Blessed to have him here.